we go. Three guys in a ball, back at you with another episode. The best thing is now we're bringing on a guest that's been doing this game for some years now, okay? I'm excited to bring on this guest. This is a guest that is so passionate about people sharing their story on her show that we wanted to make sure we can give her some time on our show. So welcome, Paul. Let's give a welcome to Sara
Welcome,
Correll.
Sarah. And Tim says hello from another world.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Miss you, Tim.
Yeah, welcome, Sarah.
I'll meet you another time.
Oh, you can probably jump in his kindness game stuff that he does. He loves the kindness games. He's the co-founder of that. And maybe we'll get you tagged on one of those there soon. But welcome to our show, Sarah. We want to make sure that we can support what you're doing out there, give you a voice on another platform to share your story. And real quick, just tell us a little bit about yourself and like where you came from and how you got to where you are today.
Okay. I'm a mom, have 4 boys. One son just got married. I'm so excited. Have another son. Our third son got married New Year's Eve, and he is actually in the middle of Ranger School right now. So he's working through that. Haven't heard from him yet, so I assume everything is going all okay. I am somebody, I've never been connected to the military though, growing up or first responders. I lost a family member to suicide in 2003, and that absolutely changed my life. I just never wanted anyone to go through this. I never wanted anybody to go through something traumatic and be alone. And that's the bottom line. I had little boys at the time, and I had a 4th one on the way. And I knew that I needed to wait until I kind of figured out how to do this, how to heal. I was very fortunate because I had very close friends, and I had my faith. And I had a family that I loved, that loved me. I really had a lot of really good things in place. And I look back on that, and that is the foundation that, because I would imagine, fast forward, actually, I went back to school and I thought, okay, how can I use this experience? How can I help others? I went to school for addiction counseling just because it's a shorter amount of time to counsel, and it gave me an idea of how to, like, do I want to do this? Do I want to be a therapist? And interestingly enough, I realized that's not my road, but I learned so much about trauma. And I met a veteran in class who happened to sit next to me. So when I heard, he just shared, we just started talking one day, he shared his story. And what I heard was high suicide rate, and we're sending kids off to war, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. And there is not a warm handoff. And then the more that I learned, I thought, oh my gosh, there is a huge gap here that we are losing people. And these are the people that are actually protecting our country. So I think there is just a mama bear that came out. I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. And that brought me to where I am now. So.
That's really amazing. And thank you so much. And, your show has been such a success. I mean, you were able to get, John McAsill on there, Herb Thomas, who was another one? Jason Van Camp, right? He was on there, and I'm still at awe. It's like when you first put out that post that says, "Oh, we're gonna get Jennifer Trace," I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Oh. She's become a dear friend. She is a dear friend of mine now. Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like that's amazing, And I was so happy for you. I remember I was actually with Anthony Ball. We were hiking with his wife and my wife. We were sitting there talking about it, and that's when I first heard about it. I'm like, wait, what? That's crazy. That's insane. So I'm so happy for you that your message is getting out there to people of importance that can actually make a difference. And you're right, these suicides are sad. And the crazy thing about these suicides is that there's no sign of it letting up. As a matter of fact, it's getting worse. It's even starting to increase amongst police officers now.
Oh, I know.
You
Yeah.
know, it's even starting to increase amongst police officers now because of everything that's going on. And with our military members, there's a term being thrown around right now that I'm seeing a lot lately called, you know, these forever wars. Like we're always in, well, we're still in Iraq. We got out of Afghanistan, but we're still in Iraq. We're still in Syria. To a limited degree, but it's still sending, you know, men, women, and supplies over there month after month after month after month after month. So yeah, and what you're doing is great. You know, it's letting people know that no matter what happens, there is somebody at home that cares, that doesn't just say thank you for your service, turns a blind eye and goes about their merry way.
Yeah. I think we don't know. I think as civilians, I think we really don't understand until we hear the story. And
I think that dog wanted to say something too. Isn't that right, Jake?
He just did this crazy line bark at my neighbors that walked by again. Oh, here they come again. This is great. Hey, real quick, sir, before that, my dog was at it again before I mute. Can you share a little bit about like the vision and how the whole operation came together for the power of our story, and just how much energy it took from you, the countless hours that weren't behind the camera, that were when the camera was off, that you were planning and communicating and trying to get stuff set up and use social media. Can you share like the challenge it takes to do what you did?
oh gosh. Sure. Well, I'll tell you, one of the big challenges is finding your lane. So here I am. I'm not connected to the military. I'm just some, woman, and yet I really cared. I'm like, how do I get in there? How do I figure this out? Like, how do we do this? How do we save our heroes, our protectors? How do we do this? So there was a lot in hit and misses, like trying to collaborate. And I think for the longest time, I always saw myself as a supporter. And I finally got to the point when people would drop off and I just thought, man, and I would have this vision of, through storytelling, that was my big thing. Through storytelling, that connects us. I connected to a veteran that in real time, we had nothing in common. Except that we both understood trauma. We understood the grief, and we understood what it felt like to lose someone to suicide and how surreal that is. Right there, we got below the content of our lives and we got to connect as human beings, right? And so that again, just, I had to even see myself differently. Like, you know what, you can actually, maybe your strength is more supportive, but you can support people and actually spearhead an idea. So I just thought, you know what, I don't care if I look like a total fool. I'm just going to keep trying to figure this out. So like, thank God for Paul. He was like one of the first people that came on one of my calls. I just said, okay, well, now there's COVID. Okay, now I have to pivot again. So how do I do this? And so I tried to figure out LinkedIn, and I just said, hey, does anybody want to come on a call and talk? And so Paul was one of the people at the beginning who came on. We had, I guess the very first time I just had two veterans come on, and we just kind of stared at each other for a second. And then we started talking. And, since then, in the last year and a half, there has never been a call where I was the only one there. And so the way that I see it is our stories connect us. If you have people that have trained and they've done, they've worked together in the military, they come in the space where all of a sudden they don't have their camaraderie anymore. They don't have that warm handoff anymore. I just kept thinking there's things that are just more simple than we make it. What if we just had a consistent place where people could always have camaraderie? What if we had this tribe of people doing transition together and be the support right there? And that's what's happened. somebody always knows something that can help somebody else. And what I've noticed on LinkedIn too, I feel like it's the cream of the crop. I say that all the time. I've loved meeting you two. I've so enjoyed you both. And so many other people. You are people that are proactive. You are willing to kind of feel awkward and getting on a call of who knows what is this going to be? And you've done it. And it just has contributed so much to the network, doing transition together. So it's been awesome.
Go ahead, Jake.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I just want to share being on your call. When I was on your call, like 9 months ago, right before Christmas, and then you got Scott Gatto on your call right after me.
Yes,
it's so crazy. It's so crazy that he and we finally met. I planned a huge event just on September 10th and 11th for 9/11 20-year remembrance, and we raised like $30,000. I did a huge golf tournament again. We had General Coleman out there, Lieutenant General Coleman. We had Major Bradshaw out there, Sergeant Major Kent, the former Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. We had so many high-level military guys. Our guest of honor was Gunnery Sergeant Aubrey McDade, who was a Navy Cross recipient, which is the second highest award for valor in combat. He was our guest of honor, and it was just amazing. Tony Taylor, I don't know if y'all know who he is. Tony Taylor came out. We flew him out from Washington State, and he ran our podcast there with Pedro Marcial. And we brought the community out. So we did what you do. You bring community, you bring veterans, law enforcement. We brought everyone out for in-person therapy because I love what you do. And then I love the next step, which is you also do the in-person stuff. And that's kind of where I'm at. I volunteered all this time to do that. And I know you do that so much out in California, like with Vaughn and Paul, I know has met up with y'all, and Anthony. But the in-person stuff, can you share that a little bit? Because I finally got to meet Scott Gatto in person, and we've been working together for like 3 years doing volunteer stuff. It was so cool to finally meet someone that I've done that much work with, but finally in person. But can you share how important it is to add the element? If you can virtually meet up, it's awesome. But it's even that much more awesome if you can physically meet up with those that you virtually connected with, especially over the last 18 months of COVID.
Yeah, well, first off, I did see that event on LinkedIn. I thought, of course, it was Jake who put that together, because I know you did that amazing reunion, the 15-year reunion for Fallujah, right?
Yes, it was crazy. Yeah, and I need to take a break. My wife's probably about to leave.
I'm sure that was a ton of work, and that's really amazing. So now we are working. It's kind of like, so Paul and I don't live too close. We're probably an hour and a half away from each other. Would you say, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, with traffic, it can go up to like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we're back to traffic in Southern California. Yeah.
Yeah. Gas prices, I'm actually really shocked that there's so much cars on the damn road, but
Oh gosh.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Southern California can be a total parking lot here.
Actually, hold on, Jake. How much is gas prices over there in where you're at? So I can just cry a little bit.
I mean, it still sucks. It's like $2.97.
$2.97?
Yeah, that's a lot though, dude. It was
it was
$2.20 a year ago.
You want to know how much it is here?
Like $4.
$4.59 a gallon, dude. Now I'm just gonna.
That's like 07, 08 time. Ugh.
Oh, I know. $4.59 a gallon. You're crying at $2. Jesus, man. That actually is high.
That'd be a dream.
Yeah.
You could also move to Texas too. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm good right now. Texas has a lot of interesting things going on there right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a wild world right now. That's for sure.
So Sarah, back to my question.
Yeah.
Could you share the challenge and just challenge people we make all these great connections, especially over the last 18 months, but take the next step and really go meet those people in person if you can. and share about like how many great people you now met in person that started virtual, but now you have this in-person connection as well
Oh gosh.
and
Well,
friendship.
yeah, like again, it was so fun to meet Paul. It was so cool to go on a hike and just, hang out with Paul in person, give him a real hug. And Tony Ball and his wife Kim. That was just really fun. There's another person on LinkedIn who is actually a really close friend of mine and, off LinkedIn, and that's Pam Reyes. She's one of the Honor Foundation coaches. And so she came along with us. So we talk every Wednesday. We go on walks. One time, Michael Parker flew in, and then Jennifer Tracy happened to fly in, and then Vaughn drove down, and then Chris Hoyer came, who's on our law enforcement first responders group. We just had this blast. We had a blast. Baya, my friend Baya, who comes on our Joel Landy group. We just all met at the beach and just had a blast. And what is so cool is you think, oh, you lose so much of that real connection on Zoom. You don't. It's a novelty the first second because you actually get to hug people and it's so fun. But then you go on like you've just been really good friends for a long time. It really is like that. That's how I felt with you, Paul. I just felt like we just started off, right off again, after like being able to see each other in person for the first time. So that's what I see happening. I see people getting together, like the East Coast friends. We have David Brez, who's on our first responders call. He's connected with John Walker, not Johnny Walker the Trident, but John Walker. I guess they call him Cheap Date Johnny Walker. So they're doing all these things on the East Coast together and pulling people in with James Corbett with Project Refit. And so you just see all this stuff happening, these connections. And I think for me personally, I just feel so strongly, this was what I was doing right before COVID hit, is taking these wonderful veterans and first responders, now that I'm doing that also on the Power of Our Story, bringing them in front of the next generation of social workers. Social workers need to hear real life stories of law enforcement, real life stories of veterans, so it can really educate their heart. They can go past anything political. We can get back to connecting as human beings. So that is what I'm working on now, along with trying to expand the groups so that there's more options for people to come on and connect.
That's really amazing. And like Jake said earlier with Scott being your MC for one segment of your show, he's out there. I haven't reacted to every single post, but I have seen he's putting stuff out there like constantly. So he is very, very, very involved. And Scott, if you ever see this this video, which I hope you do, you're doing great, man. Thank you for everything you're doing. Shout out to Scott.
So much. Yes. Shout out to Scott. I so appreciate him. He's got this huge heart, and he really knows a lot to help people with transition, and he's getting fantastic guests on there. So yeah, definitely great.
Awesome. So Sara, in kind of closing for this episode, is there anything you want to say to the veteran community, to the first responders community, to our law enforcement, personnel all across the nation? Is there anything you want to say to them? The ones especially that are feeling alone, isolated, and feel like the world just doesn't care.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you are not alone. You are not alone. There's a lot of people out there that are feeling like that. The thing that is needed is for people to just be proactive and take that step and pick up the phone and just call a friend. And what I can imagine happening is people just getting it into their mind that this is how you do it. You start meeting for coffee every week. You can always come to the Power of Our Story and find a connect group with us. It's a group full of people that really care. The biggest thing is don't isolate. There's so much hope. There's so many great people that have experienced incredible trauma and who have found their way out. And we have guest speakers, guest storytellers all the time sharing stories of hope, sharing stories of how to navigate out of this process, whether it's the incredible shock of retirement for a law enforcement officer, or how to navigate if you have post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury from the military. There's so much to glean, and you can have friends to do it together with. So anyway, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for actually agreeing to come on, Sarah. This is really, really great stuff, and I hope that we get you back sometime in the future. Absolutely, if you'd have us, to talk to us boring guys again.
Oh, I would love to. I just want you to know that I brought my ball.
Yeah,
there it is. We got the ball.
Yeah, yoga.
I was sitting here waiting, and I thought, oh my gosh, am I supposed to have a ball? And so I found my exercise ball.
That's
hey,
awesome.
So I want to say real quick, I got to meet John Walker. He came to our event we did last week. So the East Coast team is strong. I got to meet him in person, and that guy's energy is exhausting. He will wear you out. I love it. I'm like, bro,
awesome.
You freaking wear me out. Scott Gatto wears me out. I love that. Like, it's just so cool. I met him first on your show, by the way.
Oh,
John Walker.
So great.
And I finally got to hug him and hang out with him. Yeah, we hung out for 2 days. It was amazing. And they donated. There's 50 flags like this, and there's 50 coins like this for our auction. Someone donated, or Scott actually paid for it. He donated the money to pay for that flag. I think it was like $700 in the auction to win it and give it to Johnny. It's a 9/11 flag with the Twin Towers. And there's one of 50 coins that exists in the whole world that goes right in the middle. And Johnny was like, it was incredible. It was amazing. He was like, I've never seen someone feel so special, so like someone cared about him in a live moment like that. It was really cool.
That's wonderful. And that is, he, by the way, also built our website.
I know.
He did.
And that's the next thing I was going to say. Plug your website, plug your social media, give all that out right now so people can know where to find you, because you're doing great things. And I know you're not going to stop. You have a military family, your son, like, you're connected to all this now because you live it for yourself, but also your family's now a part too. But please tell us where we can find you. Where can people find your YouTube, your social media, but also your website?
Okay, sure. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel now, and just look under The Power of Our Story. The website is the same, www.thepowerofourstory.com. And then I'm on LinkedIn, Sara Correll. Come find me, message me and I'll answer you. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, 3 guys in the ball, 1 guy missing, but
he was stuck in a black hole. He sends his regards from a black hole that he got sucked into again.
Yeah, right. He's probably back in Hawaii again for 6 weeks.
Yeah. We love you, Tim.
All right. But 3 guys in the ball, out.